You're crying on that stage.
When am I not crying in public? It's so upsetting.
Why were you crying?
Oh my gosh! I saw the. Well, we didn't even see.
Overwhelming.
We didn't even see. But
Hold on, what if I told you Disney just dropped a nuke on one of their biggest fairy tales? I'm talking cancel culture, hitting actual Cinderella-level drama here. Yep, Rachel Zegler's Snow White remake, gone. Poof. And get this, Rachel's literally crying her heart out over it. We're talking full-on glass slipper shattered tears. This isn't just another Hollywood rumor, folks. Disney confirmed it hours ago. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, oh, another reboot canceled, big deal, let me hit you with the receipts. This was a $200 million project. Rachel trained for months, fans were hyped, and Disney? They're scrambling like they just lost a magic wand. But here's the kicker. Why axe a surefire hit? Was it the backlash over Rachel's casting? The dwarf drama? Or did Disney panic after The Little Mermaid flopped? Oh, we're peeling back the curtain. And spoiler, it's messy. Grab your popcorn, because this isn't just a cancellation, it's a full-blown fairy tale meltdown. All right, let's get into it. Disney just made this official, press release official, and it's wild. Here's the exact quote from their statement. After careful consideration, Snow White will not move forward due to shifting creative priorities. Translation, they're pulling the plug. No magic mirror, no seven dwarfs, no Rachel Zegler belting, someday my prince will come, done, over, and the timing, brutal. This movie was supposed to hit theaters next Christmas. Let's break this down. Disney greenlit this remake back in 2021. A $200 million budget, Mark Webb directing, and Rachel Zegler, fresh off her West Side Story Oscar buzz, cast as the first Latina Snow White. They'd already built sets, designed costumes, and Rachel was deep into vocal training. This wasn't some scribble on a napkin, it was a done deal. Now, here's where it gets juicy. Fans found out 2 hours after Disney's press drop and chaos erupted. Twitter's flooding with hashtag Save Snow White, over 50,000 tweets in 1 hour. Memes, oh, they're ruthless. My favorite, a side-by-side of Disney's logo and the evil queen screaming, "You're the fake Snow White." And TikTok?
I saw the logo and I went, that's my name, Snow White's up there, and I cried my eyes out.
What was it like seeing yourself for the first time in full Snow White drag?
I love that description, it's perfect.
Don't get me started. This clip of a girl smashing a Snow White DVD with a hammer hit 2 million views in 30 minutes. People are mad. But here's the kicker. Disney didn't just cancel this on a whim. Rachel Zegler's been crying her eyes out over it, and insiders say the drama goes way deeper than creative shifts. So, what really happened? Was it the trolls? The money? Let's talk about Rachel Zegler's reaction because wow, it's heartbreaking. Hours after the news broke, Rachel posted this now deleted Instagram story. She was visibly crying, her voice shaking, and she said, "This was more than a role for me. It was my chance to make Latina girls like me feel seen, to show them they can be princesses too." And then she just broke down. I mean, imagine pouring your heart into something for years only to have it ripped away. Devastating. But here's the thing. This wasn't just another gig for Rachel. She's been obsessed with Snow White since she was a kid. In her Variety interview last year, she gushed about how she wanted to modernize the character. She said, Snow White isn't just waiting for a prince anymore. She's a leader, she's got agency, and she's going to inspire a whole new generation. Rachel even trained for months. Vocal lessons, sword fighting, you name it. This wasn't just a role, it was her dream. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. Rachel's casting was huge. She was set to be the first Latina Snow White, a milestone for representation in Hollywood. For so many young girls, this wasn't just a movie. It was proof that they belonged in fairy tales too. Rachel said it best, "I wanted to show kids who look like me that they can be the hero of their own story." And now, that chance is gone. But here's the silver lining. The outpouring of love for Rachel has been incredible. Co-stars like Gal Gadot tweeted, "Rachel, you are a true princess. This isn't the end of your story." Fans are flooding social media with "We love Rachel" and "Your Snow White deserved better." One fan even created a mural of Rachel as Snow White in downtown LA. It's stunning.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
People aren't just mad about the cancellation, they're heartbroken for Rachel. But here's the question. Why did Disney do this? Was it the backlash, the budget, or something deeper? Because let's be real, canceling a project this far along doesn't happen without a major reason. We're diving into the drama next, and trust me, it's messy. So, why did Disney really cancel Snow White? Officially, they're calling it shifting creative priorities. Sounds fancy, right? But let's be real, that's corporate speak for something went very wrong. And when you dig deeper, it's clear this wasn't just a creative decision. This was a business decision, and a messy one at that. First up, the controversies. Oh boy, where do we even start? Rachel Zegler's casting as Snow White sparked major debates. While many celebrated her as the first Latina Snow White, others, well, let's just say they weren't happy. Toxic trolls flooded social media with racist comments, and hashtags like #NotMySnowWhite started trending. But that wasn't even the biggest firestorm. The redesign of the Seven Dwarfs? That blew up. Disney's decision to replace them with magical creatures to avoid stereotypes led to accusations of erasing representation for little people. Groups like the Little People of America called it a step backward. And fans? They were livid. A YouGov poll showed 43% of people opposed the changes. Ouch. Now let's talk about money, because at the end of the day, Disney's a business. This movie had a $200 million budget, and after The Little Mermaid underperformed despite making $570 million worldwide, it barely broke even after marketing costs. Disney got nervous. Add in the fact that their recent live-action remakes, Mulan, Pinocchio, flopped hard, and you can see why they panicked. Analysts were already predicting Snow White would struggle to hit $500 million, especially with all the backlash. And when you're spending $200 million, that's not a risk Disney's willing to take anymore. Let's start with Rachel Zegler. Losing Snow White is a blow. No sugarcoating it. This was her chance to lead a Disney princess franchise, a golden ticket in Hollywood. But here's the good news. She's not down for the count. She's still starring in Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and insiders say she's in talks for a Marvel role. But let's keep it real.
We don't just sit around and say, yeah, we grew up watching this movie called Snow White, and all of a sudden you show up and we have to eliminate all the memories of these young girls who grew up wanting to have an experience like that?
Losing a project this high profile hurts. One industry agent told Deadline, Rachel's talent isn't in question, but studios get skittish after cancellations. It's an uphill battle. Now, what does this mean for Disney? Let's face it, their live-action remakes are on thin ice. After Mulan bombed during the pandemic, Pinocchio got roasted by critics, and The Little Mermaid barely broke even, the magic's fading. A Forbes article last week called it live-action fatigue. Audiences are sick of soulless reboots. And Disney's not alone. Remember Batgirl? Warner Brothers shelved it for a tax write-off. Spiderwick Chronicles got axed after test screenings. Studios are panic buttoning hard. Analysts are sounding the alarm. Sarah Henschel, a streaming expert at Ampere Analysis, put it bluntly. Disney's stuck in remake purgatory. They're alienating core fans while failing to attract new ones. And let's not ignore the stock price, down 8% since the Snow White news dropped. Investors are nervous, and Bob Iger's creative reset looks more like a creative panic. What could have saved Snow White? Simple. Listen, test the script with actual fans, not just execs in a boardroom. Hire consultants from the little person community early. And for the love of CGI, balance nostalgia with fresh ideas. Imagine a Snow White who's still kind but also clever, like a fairy tale Wednesday Addams. Give us something familiar but new. And Rachel Zegler, cast her in a better project, one that doesn't treat diversity as a PR stunt but as a real story. But let's end on hope. Snow White's cancellation isn't the end. It's a wake-up call. We've seen films like Black Panther and Everything Everywhere All at Once smash records by blending representation with authenticity. Even Disney's Encanto proved that cultural specificity works. The lesson? Audiences don't hate diversity, they hate laziness. Give us stories that matter with characters we root for, and the box office and TikTok will follow. So is Disney doomed? Not yet, but they've got homework to do. Up next, we're wrapping this up with your take. Should Disney reboot Snow White or let sleeping dwarfs lie? Smash that like button and comment below. So let's recap. Disney cancels Snow White out of nowhere. Rachel Zegler's dream role gets shredded and fans are rioting online. Was this a smart business move or a Batgirl-level blunder? Honestly, only time will tell. But one thing's clear, when you ignore your fans and fumble diversity, nobody wins. Now I want to hear your take. Smash that like button if you're number Team Rachel and think Disney messed up big time. Drop a comment. Should they revive Snow White or let it rot in the vault? And subscribe if you haven't already because tomorrow's video is juicier.